Hello, everyone. Welcome to HA After Dark. I want to thank you so much for showing up at this late hour. And I will hold my impressions until the end. Or, no, I should say until probably like a half an hour into this. And thank you, everyone, for showing up. And let's get started. There's a lot to talk about. I'm also going to talk about my thoughts regarding Congresswoman Waters and her yet again saying that people should harass members of the Trump administration. How about voting? How about not cheating Bernie Sanders and losing every election? And knowing that because you have zero message or value system as a political party, all you can do is fall back on intimidation or harassment, and then pretending that Trump is a Nazi when Obama did worse, deported 2.5 million people without even a whimper from people like Peter Fonda. So I'll talk about that a little later. We got 60 people within the first minute. It's the middle of the night. And so I want to talk about first. So Rod Rosenstein missed his deadline today in terms of, and by the way, thank you to the Super Chat people. You help fuel this channel and these live streams. And I just want to thank you. I have the best chat room. I have the best comment section in all of YouTube. And I've had that for years now, 2 years, ever since I started. So I just want to thank you very much. And let's go ahead. We're going to get to James Comey yet again, descending into madness and chaos. When you thought Comey couldn't become a bigger imbecile, he is now linked to preventing immunity for Julian Assange. So there you go. There you go. That's I'll get to that in a second, but Rosenstein missed the deadline for documents, and this is a big issue. Why? Because he now risks contempt of Congress, or he risks impeachment, and the Republicans are angry. That's actually what you need. So that's the funny thing. Like, what's his name? This guy's name? Actor Rogan. Seth Rogen. Okay. Seth Rogen thinks he's like De Niro, who thinks he's still relevant. Or he thinks he's like, some kind of Hollywood legend. But so he had this thing, what was it, like the other day, and like, what was it, the Tonight Show, where he went and he said, yeah, Paul Ryan's, this guy thinks he's Marlon Brando. So he's like, Paul Ryan's went to me and Aunt Luede, thank you. Hey, mate, watching all the way from Australia. I love how you always have great sources for your information. Keep it up. Thank you, Aunt Luede. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you, Aunt. Thank you so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's what keeps me in, good standing with YouTube. It's just basically everything I say, everything I talk about is backed up by reputable sources. So there you go. But 4 minutes in, we have 164 people. It's the middle of the night. That's pretty good. But Seth Rogen's like, yeah, I told Paul Ryan that I'm not going to take a picture with him, and I hate everything you're doing. Then make sure Bernie doesn't get cheated, or the next candidate doesn't get cheated, Seth Rogen. Peter Fonda, Kathy Griffin, Bill Maher, Robert De Niro. Make sure you don't cheat. Make sure you don't deport 2.5 million immigrants. Make sure you don't, according to New York Magazine and the New York Times, Make sure you don't give children to human traffickers under Obama, under a Democrat. And if you don't believe me, it's in the description section, and this is 100% documented. New York Magazine report, Obama administration handed child migrants over to human traffickers. This is a New York Magazine 2016 article. New York Times also docs. Snopes even went ahead and said, oh, yeah, that's true. Even Snopes. So, Ant, thank you so much. Thank you. We got 200 people watching 5 minutes in. This is in the middle of the night. And Joseph, I appreciate that. I mean, the thing is, like, there's no substitute for voting. You live in a democracy, or you live in a republic, and you live in a democracy. You live in a place where you can vote, okay? Whenever I say it's a democracy, people say it's a republic. Okay, great. We have a constitution. Fantastic. And we have an electoral college also, and we vote. And guess what? You got to win the electoral college. How about voting? How about voting, Seth Rogen? How about voting, De Niro, Bill Maher? How about getting your political party that you believe is so much better than Trump and the GOP to actually win? Isn't that interesting how they always lose? Why is that? Maybe they're reviled. Maybe they hate. Maybe the media is hated. Maybe the Democratic Party is hated. Have you ever thought of that? Not by me, just by voters. I voted for Jill Stein last election, and I'm voting for Trump this coming election. Only two things going to happen where I won't vote for Trump, and I'll get to that in a second. If, God forbid, anything should happen to Julian Assange, if he's extradited, and by the way, for the record, he did not dox. Assange and WikiLeaks did not dox anyone. They just put, I don't know, I doesn't matter what I think, but I don't know why they did it, but that's funny. Okay. So I don't, but they went ahead and made a compilation or a database of LinkedIn, like, already open for the public information. So it was not doxing. Doxing is when you go ahead and put someone's information out there. Like there have been like some people, like, you know, who were on this live stream try to dox me with like wrong addresses, which is hilarious. They're like, oh, I found your address. They think I live in a part of the San Fernando Valley that perhaps I used to like 20 years ago. And they're like, we found this. And that's what I'm saying. Like I always say, you know, if you appreciate and love the Second Amendment, you can protect your family from, God forbid, somebody, you know, trying to harm you in your home, breaking into your home. You can protect your family. So I have, you know, my California legal AK-47. I have, you know, my 500 Smith & Wesson. Okay. But the AK with the proper ammunition is good for home defense. I'm a part of Gun Owners of America. I love Gun Owners of America. So, Mr. I love Gun. In fact, Gun Owners of America was really awesome. They actually said thank you to me for joining on Twitter. I was like honored, and they retweeted an article that was talking about me. It was guns on guns.com. So I got green and red Gatorade. That's right. I got fruit punch and lemon lime. This is going to be a crazy HA after dark. Well, let's get to it. So Rod Rosenstein. So I'll go ahead and get to more of my thoughts. But when Maxine Waters is like, you have to go ahead and make sure that, you know, they're not free to eat. And then you hear people online like, this is just like D-Day. Like, no, it's not. You're not storming, you know, Juno Beach or, you know, the beaches of Normandy. You're not fighting Nazis, buddy. You think you're on the internet and you think that you're fighting Nazis and you're calling every Republican a Nazi. Well, guess what? They're not Nazis. They're Americans who are more conservative or who are voting for a less hawkish foreign policy. Isn't it interesting how the people calling Republicans Nazis are also the ones who are pushing for a more violent foreign policy, which is what Obama implemented? Isn't it also interesting? You go to it. almost to a T. Almost every single person, I should say almost every single person who calls others Nazis hates Israel. Hates the Jewish state. And you can disagree with Israel, you can critique Israel, fine. But people on the left, they take it to the extreme. Everything's an extreme. They ignore Hamas completely, not saying that Israel is perfect, but they're calling Republicans Nazis. And they also hate Israel. What gives a person the moral authority to call anyone they disagree with a Nazi while at the same time hating the Jewish state? That's hilarious. That's another hilarious aspect of the Democratic Party. But DOJ, FBI define Nunes document requests about Trump campaign informants. So this is a Mueller document. It's not just a Russia document because there is no Russia. No, Seth Rogen. I love Joe Rogan. I think it was, so Monica, I think it was, oh, maybe, I don't know. I don't even know what's being talked about. Oh, yeah, no, you're right, Monica, you're right. Yeah, no, you're actually right. I'm wrong. Yeah, no, it was, okay, so the whole Alex Jones thing, that was Joe Rogan, but Seth Rogen was the actor that I was talking about. No, you are right, and I am 100% wrong. But anyway, Joe Rogan's great. I watch him. Okay, DOJ, FBI define Nunes document request about Trump campaign informants. So again, I am 100% wrong. I didn't even read. I apologize. I didn't read what the that was. Yeah, Seth. It was Joe Rogan and Alex Jones, or Alex Jones had a thing. I don't know. I don't know what the whole story is. The Department of Justice told lawmakers Monday night it will not provide documents related to informants on Trump campaign because that is protected FBI information that must come from the Bureau. Right. Right. So it will not provide documents. Isn't that fantastic? 305 people watching, 12 minutes in. Thank you to the super chat people. And if you want something read, it will be my pleasure to read it. And just thank you so much. So Rod Rosenstein basically gave Nunes the finger and said, I'm not going to give you anything. I'm not going to give you anything. Just forget about it. Yesterday, Nunes asked FBI this: did the FBI use informants against members or associates of the Trump campaign? And if so, how many informants were used? And how much money was spent on their activities? FBI refused response tonight. We have already responded to your request. With respect to your question concerning the use of confidential informants, the FBI already responded to your request, including in a classified written response to this request on Friday, June 22nd, 2018. So they couldn't reiterate. That's when you know you're in a bad relationship. That's like a bad relationship when you're like arguing over something and you ask another question and they're like, I already told you. I'm not going to tell you again. Well, I would help with the communication. Okay. Oh, here we go with the civility. How about voting? How about voting? You're like, how about just voting? You think that you're going to go ahead and, okay, so I'm sorry. I'm talking to myself now. I don't even want to bring this up. IG is confirming yes. Sean, thank you. I have like very intelligent people I speak to. Very intelligent people. I can say that Sean, my buddy Sean, is more intelligent, a lot more intelligent. Eric, more intelligent. Lots of people, just good people who are way more intelligent than a lot of journalists on the left that I can. A lot of journalists in the Washington Post who try to reach out to me, and I said, nope. one journalist in particular. They wanted to interview me for my articles that went viral on Bernie. I knew he was going to write a hit piece, so I didn't. But anyway, ING confirms he's reviewing whether Strzok's anti-Trump bias impacted the launch of Russia probe. Well, I mean, that's amazing. But in typical Horowitz bureaucratic fashion, it's going to go both ways. He's going to say, well, it could have possibly in an alternate universe, perhaps, maybe, who knows? Oh, Lord. Okay, now I got the point when I said that was, it's not a matter of, hold on one second. Go ahead and want to make sure this live stream doesn't run out of electricity. Okay. Couple people. Okay, it's apartheid state. Okay, it's not an apartheid state. No, because there are Arabs and Jews within Israel. The issue is, I want a Palestinian state, and I want a Palestinian state. There has to be negotiation between Fatah, Hamas, and Israel. That's what has to happen. It's not happening. So the reason I'm saying this is because one person says, "Oh, it's apartheid state." Blah, blah. Even if you disagree with me, fine. And so that's my opinion. I could be wrong. But the issue is the people on Twitter So getting back to that, if you look in Israel, there's Israeli Arabs. So within Israel, even Jimmy Carter's like, no, it's not apartheid. They use the word apartheid because they talk about Gaza and the West Bank. But the thing is, the governments of Gaza and West Bank are not unified. In fact, there was an assassination attempt on Abbas by Hamas about a month ago before the protests. Nobody talks about that. But anyway, you could disagree with me. Let's say you're wrong and you watch this channel, HA, you're wrong, 100% wrong. That's fine. That's 100% fine. I could be wrong. I respect your viewpoint, 100%. I could be wrong. But the point is, the interesting issue is the hypocrisy and irony. They fancy themselves fighters of Nazis, yet they hate the Jewish state with people who fled Nazis, started by people who fled Nazis. That's the hypocrisy. So anyway, again, so like my thing is not so much that if people disagree with me on that particular subject, even though I'm on record saying I want a Palestinian state and I want a two-state solution. But the issue is, it's just insane rhetoric like, oh, we're going to fight Nazis. We're going to make them feel uncomfortable while they eat like hot fudge sundaes or a hamburger. Well, how is that going to change policy? You have to vote. That's what the people on the left don't understand. You have to vote. It's called voting. It's called not cheating in a primary. Vote. Simply vote. That way you won't have to go ahead and tell people to leave restaurants. You can tell people to leave restaurants all you want. You can tell Sarah Sanders never to go to a restaurant again. Anyway, the FBI retains and has the ability to produce documents requested in a manner consistent with its obligation to protect confidential human sources and methods. The whole point of sources and methods is a bunch of nonsense. It's a joke. They use sources, they use methods. They use sources and they use methods that Rosenstein is 100% part of a group of people who wanted Hillary Clinton to win. Democrats. He is essentially a Democrat. He might be a Republican. He might be in a Republican administration, but conservative Republicans or establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats are two sides of the same coin. They're the same person. They're the same people. And so today we've learned that Rosenstein was like, oh, I'm not going to give you the information. Why? Because it's the FBI's responsibility. And the FBI said, well, we already gave you the information. And we already know that Stephen Halper was paid $1 million from 2012 to 2018. Are you paid $1 million? Have you been paid $1 million from 2012 to 2018 in your job $1 million. So he's paid $1 million, the FBI spy or / informant. And oh, by the way, he's implicated in a CIA plot in the 1980 election to help Reagan infiltrate Jimmy Carter's campaign. And then he found nothing. So the guy found nothing. Isaac Ryan. Can we start a politician swamp website? That's a good idea. I mean, well, the thing is, can we start a politician swamp website? Isaac, great idea. I mean, you start with Comey. I mean, you can start with, I mean, in any website, let's say, Isaac, if you start a website, you can call it like whatever, politicalswamp.com, or there might be, you can go to GoDaddy and just find names and start a website. And you would start with, that's a great, so Isaac, thank you so much. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Isaac. That is a great idea. Who would you start with in your political swamp? Who would you start to the viewers watching? If you were starting a website, who would you put? I would put James Comey. Well, Hillary Clinton #1, Bill Clinton, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Kevin Kleinsmith. He was stooping Sally Moyer, the other FBI agents. FBI agent 1, 2, and 3. That's 11. Then you have James Clapper. Then you have John O'Brien. My first impression, 22 minutes in. John O'Brien. Sally Yates, I miss you. I miss your touch. All right, so John O'Brien. It is fun. You can put a whole bunch of, I mean, my God. You can put a whole bunch of people in there. Stephen Halper, the FBI informant, that's 9. Oh, my God. Glenn Simpson, 10. Christopher Steele, 11. Cody Shearer and Sidney Blumenthal, the 2 Clinton operatives. John Podesta, 9. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Sorry. Yeah, that's 15. What am I saying? 9. I'm like getting myself. So 15. You can probably put President Obama on there, but I'll leave Obama out just because I'll just leave it out. Leave President Obama out of that. So 15, 16, Donna Brazile. So who else? I just named 16 people. Oh, Bruce and Nellie Orr, 17, 18. So 18 people. Bruce and Nellie Orr, that's 18. I mean, you can start with a good, Mueller, 19. Hello. We've got to put Mueller in because he presided over the sale of uranium and didn't do anything when yellow cake uranium was shipped out of the country. Did I miss McCabe? The Alwyn brothers. Absolutely. So you can put Schiff in there, all of CNN. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you could start that off. So that was a great. So thank you. Thank you, Isaac. We got 433 people. It's the middle of the night. It's the middle of the night. So I want to thank you for watching. It's almost midnight. And almost midnight Pacific time. And what? Almost 3 in the morning Eastern. And if you're in Australia or New Zealand, thank you so much for watching. It's probably daytime there. So let's get really quickly to what happened with. So, okay, before we get to Julian Assange, IG confirms he's reviewing whether Strzok's anti-Trump bias impacted launch of probe. Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz confirmed Tuesday that he is. Oh, this is 6 days ago. This is important. So, of course, so that's one investigation. Another investigation is, of course, Comey's memos, whether they're classified or not. And, of course, they're classified. So let's go ahead to. We learned today that James Comey is probably one of the biggest. It's just impossible to be that much of an imbecile. But he is. So let's go ahead. How Comey intervened to kill WikiLeaks immunity deal. How much of an idiot do you have to be? So not only did now he's being blamed for ruining Clinton's chances, which is really funny because it was a failed cover-up. But I'll read you one of the more devastating intelligence. Okay. So basically, Julian Assange's lawyer and Trump and officials within the United States government Okay, so some of the characters are household names thanks to the Russia scandal. James Comey, Senator Mark Warren, Bruce Orr, and Julian Assange. Okay, an American attorney, Adam Waldman, who has a Forrest Gump-like penchant for showing up in major cases of intrigue, each played a role in the early days of the Trump administration to try to get Assange to agree to risk mitigation, essentially limiting some classified CIA information he might release in the future. The effort resulted in the drafting of a limited immunity deal. A limited immunity deal. So this is beautiful. Alan Walters, thank you so much for always supporting this channel. Thank you, Alan Walters. The Mueller investigation wasn't to get Trump. It was so they could refuse to hand documents over because they are part of an ongoing investigation. Well, I'm beginning to lean towards that. I'm beginning to lean towards Sessions being a lot smarter than I ever gave him credit for. Y'all think I'm stupid? I'm not stupid. I'm going to tell you something right now. You have no idea what I'm doing. You're going to thank me in the end. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. I'm going to tell everybody, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. I'm going to go. Bye. People out. All right, so Alan Walters, thank you so much. Thank you, Alan Walters. The effort resulted in the drafting. Okay, so they came to perhaps what could have been an historic agreement to give Julian Assange freedom. The effort resulted in the drafting of a limited immunity deal that might have temporarily freed the WikiLeaks founder from a London embassy, where he's been exiled for years, according to interviews and a trove of internal DOJ documents turned over to Senate investigators. Read the draft immunity deal proffer and that the Justice Department was considering for Assange here. So this is during President Obama's administration before Comey was fired. I mean, President Trump's administration before Comey was fired. And so, But an unexpected intervention by Comey relayed through Warner soured negotiations, multiple sources tell me. Assange eventually unleashed a series of leaks that U.S. officials say damaged their cyber warfare. It didn't. Capabilities for a long time to come. It's ridiculous. Damage how? How? Because now other people know that we could frame them. They probably already knew that. This yarn begins in January 2017 when Assange's legal team approached Waldman, known for his government connections, to see how the new Trump administration would negotiate with the WikiLeaks founder. So, of course, James Comey wanted to mess this up. Of course. Of course. Of course he wanted to mess it up. He's like, I call him Destructor. He just, everything he does turns out to be, something, coincidentally, Hillary would want. Hillary Clinton. That's bizarre. Why is that the case? Assange had a bargaining chip. The U.S. government knew he had a massive trove of documents. Okay. Waldman contacted Orr, a justice official department, met in Russia case. So, Orr consulted his chain of command in the intelligence community. So that's actually one good thing Bruce Orr did, try to help Julian Assange, even though Bruce Orr was part of the whole Russian nonsense, feeding the Steele dossier to the FBI. Orr consulted his chain of command in the intelligence community about what happened to be an extraordinary overture that raised hopes the government could negotiate what Assange would release and what he might redact. Assange made it clear through the lawyer that he would never compromise his sources, okay, great, or stop publishing information, but was willing to consider concessions like redactions. Although the intelligence community reviled Assange for the damage, okay, there was no damage, but understood. So this is by John Solomon, by the way, brilliant journalist, really great journalist, John Solomon. Really, really great journalist. Exactly. WikiLeaks did not dox. It was a New York professor who doxed. All these people are like, oh yeah, we're going to fight evil. How about vote? You're not that important. You're not soldiers in World War II fighting Nazis. You're not storming the beaches. You're not risking your lives against Nazi tanks and SS guards and all of you. You're not. You are just people on the left who didn't care that Bernie Sanders was cheated, and you're doing exactly what the Democratic Party wants, even though you say you hate the Democratic Party because you're so cool. It's exactly what they don't have anything. What do they have? Zero momentum. They don't have any policies they're pushing. The whole thing is resist. When your marketing slogan is resist, you're not taking the initiative. So there's nothing really to look forward to. You're actually just on the defensive all the time. So just a few days after the negotiations opened in mid-February, Waldman reached out to Senator Warner. The lawyer wanted to see if Senate Intelligence Committee staff wanted any contact with Assange to ask about Russia or other issues. Warner engaged with Waldman over encrypted text messages, then reached out to Comey. A few days later, Warner contacted Waldman with an unexpected plea. He told me he had just talked with Comey and that while the government was appreciative of my efforts, my instructions were to stand down to end the discussions with Assange. Unbelievable, Waldman told me. This is Jonathan Solomon. Waldman offered contemporaneous documents to show he memorialized Warner's exact words. So Senator Mark Warner did a very good thing. Bruce Orr, actually. So these people actually, here and there at times stumble upon doing something good. Blake Foster, thank you. HA, what do you think are the main folks masterminding this dramatic chess game with Trump behind the scenes? I mean, I think it's Sessions. I mean, it sounds a bit ridiculous to say Sessions. I understand, but he is the attorney general. He has seen the wrath. He has witnessed how horrible these people are. I say horrible, and these people, I mean Democratic Party. He's the Democratic Party tried to, implicate him in, oh, you talked to Sergei Kislyak. Oh my God. And this was, I like classic Star Wars. So I'm old school. And when I was like, 6 or 7, I saw Star Wars in the theaters. I mean, I saw Star Wars, and I saw Return of the Jedi in the theaters, I remember. But it's pretty much a situation now where so Blake Foster, thank you. So I think Sessions, Blake Foster asked, HA, who do you think are the main folks masterminding this dramatic chess game with Trump behind the scenes? I think it's Sessions, because Fish Lips Al Franken tried to prevent Sessions from becoming Attorney General. And here's why I think it's Sessions. So let's just go ahead here real quick. We'll get back to, so basically Assange was very close to, it's just impossible to be that much of an imbecile. Thank you, Sean. So this is my new ringtone, by the way. It's just impossible to be that much of an imbecile. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead here, and so I'm going to answer Blake Foster's. So Blake, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting this channel. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is why I think Sessions is helping drain the swamp, while Strzok was helping drain his, you-know-what. Okay, so Sessions, Clinton Foundation. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the calls for a special prosecutor to look into the Clinton Foundation. What exactly is the smoking gun that Donald Trump thinks warrants a special prosecutor?
Well, we're seeing all hosts of things, but this.
Hold on one second. So that's true. This is Joseph Arbuckle. Jabba the Hutt memorialized Solo in carbonite once. That's true. So Joseph Arbuckle, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph Arbuckle. Thank you. That was awesome. That was very awesome. He certainly did. And Blake Foster, here's my complete answer regarding Sessions. So check this out. Check this out. So HA After Dark, and just relax and listen to Jeff Sessions, who, by the way, when people like certain detractors like, HA, your Sessions stinks. And of course it's not. It's an impression that's obviously not Sessions, some weird up, made up, caricature. But anyway.
I mean, we've seen emails, but where's the there there?
Where's the there there?
Fundamental thing.
This is the Democrat. Where's the there there? Where's the there there? No, there is a nothing burger. The burger made of nothing. 10 billion from Haiti. There. Clinton Foundation weapons deal scandals. The International Business Times. There. I don't know. Uranium One, cash flow to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. That's the verbatim article in the New York Times. There. Where's the there? It's just nothing burger. It's like a part of the cult link, like this cult. There's like a part of there's a cult, and it's just like they've completely transformed language into ways to hide the truth from different semantic angles and barriers to hide the truth.
Is you cannot be Secretary of State of the United States of America and use that position to extort or to seek contributions to your private foundation.
Yes.
I mean, that is a fundamental.
So this is Sessions, August 23rd, 2016. So how many times have you heard Sessions speak like this? And I have the best comment section, the best super chat, the best chat room in the live stream and all of YouTube. I want to thank you very much. We're 547 strong. It's the middle of the night. I want to thank you. But this is Sessions. Let's check this out. I mean, it's not hyperbole. Who do I think is helping Trump? I really do think Sessions is, because check out Sessions.
Where's the there?
There. Transferring top secret intelligence from Cybernet JAWIX and SCIFs onto an unencrypted server in her basement, and then she transferred all those emails to Platte River and Dato Inc. outside the U.S. government. Then she deleted 30,000 yoga emails. Then there's 18 classified emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. And they've been investigating Trump Russia without any evidence at all. They're there.
Well, the fundamental thing is you cannot be Secretary of State of the United States of America and use that position to extort or to seek contributions to your private foundation.
To extort? To extort? Extortion? Or seek contributions? I'll show you where the there is. You want me to show you the there? On CNN, I'll show you right now. I'll show you the there, the here. I'll show you a burger. It'll be a something burger.
Yes.
A burger and a hot dog.
I mean, that is a fundamental violation of law, and that does appear to have happened.
Where?
That is a fundamental violation of law. This is the future Attorney General. This is only one example. This is only one example. When the indictments hit, you can just remember HA After Dark. We were all together. We were all together, and we were talking about this. And old Sessions was talking about hot dogs and wang doodles. You there? How about wang doodle? Huh? CNN? It's cable. All right.
In order to seek contributions to your private foundation.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I mean, that is a fundamental violation of law, and that does appear.
That is a fundamental violation of law. Have you heard Sessions say anything like that? Have you heard Sessions say anything like that? Sessions is silent. Silent. Sessions is just waiting. The people in life that are the biggest, like just in the streets or in life, the silent ones, silent. When they're like yapping and yapping and yapping, they could be dangerous, but probably not. The yapping and yapping, it's the silent ones you got to watch out for. Oh my God, that's scary.
To have happened.
Where? What? Where
Anyway.
has she extorted money?
Where? Oh, where? Hey, you mean Haiti? 10 billion in Haiti? You mean hundreds of millions from the Russian uranium deal? There was cash flow to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal? That's the New York Times verbatim article. Where? A Chicago commodities trader put on a nuclear advisory board because he knew nothing about nuclear weapons? Where? Deal with Morocco? Where? Uma Abedin putting hundreds of thousands of emails on her husband's computer while he was sexting pictures of his wiener? Where?
Well, when people think that the way you gain entree is to give to this foundation, why are these people giving money to the foundation? Why are these people in countries that are very poor giving millions of dollars, even hundreds of millions of dollars, to a foundation that doesn't benefit them?
Why are these people giving money to a foundation that doesn't benefit them? That is the best, and that's Sessions. And do you know why Sessions has been waiting and slow as molasses? You want to know why Sessions has been waiting? Because it's like this. It's like this. Hi, Mr. President. How are you? You don't have to yell. Well, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Strzok. I'm waiting for Klansmith. I'm waiting for Mueller. I'm waiting for McCabe. I'm waiting for Comey. I'm waiting for FBI agent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm waiting for the IG to get Comey. I'm waiting for a whole bunch of things. The Office of Responsibility, you know what I mean, to get Strzok. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Hello, I'm waiting. I'm the good guy here. Hello. How about some props? How about a thank you? Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. President. I didn't mean that. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to AJ's live stream. Okay. Poop out. Gotta go. Bye. So that's, Sessions is probably so on everything you think is going to take place at like the opposite. So if you think everything is counterintuitive from how everything that's taken place, like Trump won, happened to be right about that. But in 2015, Trump won. It was counterintuitive, though. Well, maybe it was intuitive, but it's I'd say what you I shouldn't say counterintuitive, but what you would think takes place, the opposite takes place nowadays. What you would think takes place, the opposite takes place. So it seems that Sessions is not doing anything, but he's waiting. He needed Strzok. He needed those text messages because if they fired Strzok, then Strzok's lawyers could have then said, you know what, we want all the communication before everyone else, all that stuff. And so, Sessions is waiting. Now we didn't know who Sally Moyer was. Sally Moyer? She was pretty powerful. So let's just finish Sessions real quick.
In any direct way are the people in their country. So they're doing it to gain access, and you cannot pay for access.
Of course.
This last deal was that this prince asked in the regular order to get access to Hillary Clinton and meet with her. It was turned down. The foundation called and said, in effect, he's given $32 million, and they immediately got access. But that's wrong.
Other than a meeting, maybe that's a handshake. Maybe that's a photo op.
Maybe that's a handshake. Maybe unicorns flew down and leprechauns were giving Clinton gold, and maybe Thor came down with a hammer and Rainbow Bright, and maybe who knows what was happening. Blake Foster, thank you so much. Thank you, Blake. My thought about Clinton and her server was that it was a community mailbox for all her donors and foundation to be hacked for plausible deniability. That I've heard something like that before, but that could very well be the case. It was definitely hacked, and she was definitely communicating. I think, Blake, what she was doing, she was just hiding her communication and negotiating on the side. Okay, 50,000 here, 100,000, 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, 20 million. Okay, how are you today? Okay, thank you. Rich person here in this country, in that country. Because, Christopher Hitchens, great man, big inspiration to me. Christopher Hitchens, big inspiration to H.A. Goodman, big, huge inspiration. Well, he called Hillary Clinton. He called her out about this. And, we'll play Hitchens in a second. But my thought about Clinton's server, my thought about Clinton and her server was that it was a community mailbox for all her donors and foundation to be hacked for plausible deniability. Um, I think it's possible. I could be wrong, and that's a great, Blake, great thing to get your mind going. I think though that she's just paranoid enough to where she wouldn't cede control. She wouldn't allow control to be taken from her in any way, shape, or form. We're almost at 600 people watching. It's the middle of the night, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm just going to finish up with this. The best part is when the interviewer was like, well, maybe it's just a handshake. Maybe Clinton did something that wasn't diabolical in its inception with a grandiose scheme and an ultimate objective. Maybe it was she just, I don't know, did it on, as a whim.
And they immediately got access. That's wrong. So
Sessions is talking. This is August 23rd, 2016. He's on to them. London, thank you. He's on to them. He's on to them. He's on to them. Sessions is.
Other than a meeting, maybe that's a handshake. Maybe that's a photo op. Maybe that's a hello, how are you?
Maybe that's a hello, how are you? I say hello to people. I don't put my hand out. I know. I say hello to people. I don't say $1 million. Hey, how you doing? You made $1 million. I don't have my birthday present $1 million for 5 minutes of my time from Qatar.
Where is the evidence that some money was exchanged for a policy?
Well, one policy was cash flow to the Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal, and we had an FBI informant that said that Hillary Clinton, that the Russian lobbyists were bragging about their influence over Clinton. The Democrats said, well, where's your evidence? This guy was an FBI informant, actually an informant regarding a criminal, possible criminal, a transaction with money and then a beneficial outcome. That's what the Clintons do. And the Democrats, well, where's your evidence? Then they use the Steele dossier, which is complete and utter gossip and hearsay. Here you have cash flowing into the Clinton Foundation. You have cash flowing into the Clinton Foundation, and then weapons deals. Cash flowing into the Clinton Foundation, and then a Russian uranium deal. Cash flowing into the Clinton Foundation, and then $10 billion nowhere to be found in Haiti. Cash flowing into the Clinton Foundation, and then you have a Chicago commodities trader suddenly put on a nuclear advisory board. Cash flowing into the Clinton Foundation, then they go and there's a deal in Morocco. Everything is cash flowing into the Clinton Foundation, and then reciprocal outcome, a favorable outcome. 85 donors giving $156 million. Oh, gee. Blake Foster, thank you again. Blake, thank you. Thank you. I think she sold secrets, treason. That I agree 100%. And because the access came by way of hack, she can say the evidence was compromised if she was found out. Oh, that is very, wow, you're making me think, Blake. You're making me think. That's true on both accounts. Very true. Very true. Thank you, Blake Foster, for your continued, support and, and your super chat. I think that what she did was not sell secrets the way Aldrich Ames and Robert Hansen did. And if you know the stories of those two, especially Hansen, it's pretty HA after dark, style. But she sold secrets, but in a way like, oh, I know what Obama's going to do. Don't worry. Like, what the are you talking about the president doing? You shut up about what the president is doing. Why are you? That's classified information. That is classified information. You can't tell people what the president is doing, so they give money to your foundation. So in terms of that, I don't think she was like, here's the documents. Here are the nuclear sub specifications. But she, she had Sidney Blumenthal on speed dial. This guy he's not even right on anything. And he's, completely bungled, a whole bunch of things. And he got hacked himself. So, and Clinton's not the sharpest tool in the shed to begin with. They think she's so like, savvy and like, utilizes lawfare. She's not. She's like a sloppy drunk at a wedding. Like a sloppy, sloppy drunk. You ever seen a sloppy drunk at a wedding? It's embarrassing for everybody. It's more embarrassing for you watching the sloppy drunk than the drunk. Because you're at a wedding. It's like a nice affair. Why, you don't want to see this guy throw up, or it's like sad. She's a sloppy drunk. And so I think what she did was, oh yeah, I know I have the inside scoop on this. I have the inside scoop on that. That type of thing, which would be treason, which is treason in a way. But see, the thing is, treason is getting money and giving secrets, which she did. But then they can always see her whole thing is like lawfare and, warfare through semantics and law, which is ending soon. Sessions and Trump will end all of that. Because the people who protected her and said, well, you can't really prove that he hated Trump because of the text. You can't really prove this. You can't really prove that. And then what they do is they use no evidence and they try to frame Trump and Flynn. And, they try to fabricate. So you have 608 people here. It's the middle of the night. So I think that she sold secrets, but in a roundabout way to where she couldn't say, well, it's not like Ultra Games. Oh, well, everybody knew that. So, and then, yeah, so, white male, scum and proud. If Hillary gets jail time, free joints for all. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's this white male. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support of this channel. And I believe, although I don't partake or utilize marijuana, I want it to be legal for everyone to enjoy and partake. I've written about that as well. But in terms of her server getting hacked, I don't even think she really cared. I just don't even think she cared. I think that the hacking part was she didn't care. I don't think she cared. But so I mean, it was hacked. She had an unencrypted server. I mean, check it out. It's in every one of my descriptions. And this is just crazy. Especially, I mean, give me your vantage point if you are in the technology and you understand cell phones. She was sworn in late January of 2009. I explained this in Butter Top Secret Emails. But she was sworn in. We have 605 people watching. Onion encrypted server. So let's just finish sessions, then we'll get to the unencrypted server.
There was something that happened.
He asked for an investigation. The man wanted access to talk about something. This is very important to people. And they have an agenda. They wouldn't be asking for access for nothing. And they wouldn't be giving $30 million to a foundation that's not relevant to them. They wanted access. They got access. And I think that raises questions. I'm not saying that's a crime at this point, but I think there are definitely.
So he can't say because he is not privy to all the evidence. And as at DOJ, he's getting evidence from ongoing FBI investigations. There's an ongoing FBI and DOJ an email investigation. Ladies and gentlemen of H.A. Goodman's live stream, there are over 30,000 employees at the FBI. There are over 30,000 employees at the FBI. Okay, there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of employees at the DOJ. Why don't we just find out how many employees at the DOJ instead of me saying thousands and thousands? I know there's 35,000 or so at the FBI. So there's, whoa, 113,000. Jeez. But I think that's, so on a federal level. Okay, so I'm just saying, like, how many employees at the FBI? 35,000. They can do two things at once. So Sessions right now has a Clinton Foundation probe that the FBI is working on. And The Hill and the Daily Beast already talked about both of those. But real quick, so her server was hacked. I don't think she cared either way, though. Her main goal, because I don't know the benefit. Oh, you know what? You're right. So Blake was right. The evidence could have been tampered because she was hacked. They'll say it was tampered. So they'll even prove. So when it's proved that she's hacked, she'll say, "Oh, the evidence was tampered." I mean, it's just it's childish. Not even. I don't even want to insult, younger people. It's just absurd. It's absurd. But let's listen. God bless him, which is funny because he was an anti-theist. But I'm going to say God bless him anyway. Christopher Hitchens. He was the man. He was the man in every way. Oh my God. I would love Hitchens versus the social justice warriors on Twitter. Oh my God. He would have destroyed Twitter. He would have destroyed Twitter. Hitchens would have single-handedly destroyed Twitter. So
just was incredibly cheap and Mrs. Clinton.
So this is the great Christopher Hitchens. And he was just amazing. He passed away, but he was just unbelievably amazing. Here's Christopher Hitchens.
As for Mrs. Clinton, look, after all she's done for us and all she's suffered on our behalf, she feels she's owed the presidency. And, who could possibly disagree? Her life is meaningless if she doesn't get released shot. And one can only sympathize. Unless you think, as I do, that people should be distrusted who are running for therapeutic reasons.
I hope you can hear this.
The presidency doesn't calm those demons, as her husband has already proved. But look, the reason why we have to think about it.
Cooper Sees Truth, thank you so much always for your continued support of this channel. Thank you, Cooper Sees Truth. Yet Trump is supposedly breaking the law by foreign officials staying at his hotels when there's no handshakes or meetings with Trump. They pay to the hotels. The money they pay to the hotels is clearly a transaction for the hotel business and not tied to government. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, the whole thing with like Mar-a-Lago and the hotels and businesses, Trump's losing money being president. He's losing money. Sarah Sanders can't even eat at a restaurant. Okay. It's not profitable. They're like, Kushner used his White House connections for a loan. No, it's, Cooper Sees Truth. Real News Headquarters. Thank you so very much. Real News Headquarters. That's greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you. You all help me. I mean, these live streams, you help me just do these live streams. You just help the live streams go. And I love the interaction with everything. And just thank you so very much. Real News Headquarters, thank you. Cooper Sees Truth, thank you. In interaction, look, if you go to a hotel, you go to the room, you sleep in the room, whatever, take a shower, whatever, you pay, and then you leave. So, but with the Clinton Foundation, you give money, you get something in return. That's the pay to play. It's very simple. It's pretty obvious. So you're 100% right. Cooper Sees Truth. Thank you, Real News Headquarters. Thank you. Thank you. One person on the one critique, they're like, just thank them once. You don't have to thank them over and over again. But I do. I have to. So Real News Headquarters, thank you so much. Thank you. You could be, contributing to anyone else on YouTube or any other, media person, but you're contributing to this, let's say station or broadcast or whatever. And I appreciate that greatly. So thank you so much. I have just the most intelligent, best people. I don't just say that because it's just to be nice. I've been told by many people, thank you, Germany. Thank you, Germany. Thank you, London. Thank you, Haiti. So people from all over the place watch, and I'm very, very honored. So thank you again, Real News Headquarters. Eric, H526, thank you, my friend. Awesome live streams. HA, much love, HA in chat. Eric is awesome. Eric is, really such a tremendous, he's just a great person. And I'm very, very fortunate to have his support. Just a great person. If YouTube takes rubles, I do. I have friends, by the way. So thank you again, Real News Headquarters and Cooper Sees Truth. Thank you. Like if I go on RT, which by the way, like CNN, MSNBC, I've been on RT. I've been on 9 times. MSNBC, I've been on once. CNN, I've been on 3 times. But they don't pay. It's just exposure. They don't pay unless it's like somebody amazing, like, or somebody that, they want to have on or need to have on, but they don't pay you. They just call you. But it's kind of funny. I had one of my buddies who was, Democrat. He's like, do they pay you in rubles? Did Putin pay you? It's like, I find it amusing. So people on Twitter, like, they're like, yeah, comrade. Like, so stupid. It's so stupid. Why would you be offended? Then, like, I mean, some people like disagree with me. They're like, no, you're a Nazi sympathizer. I'm like, I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. I know a lot more about the Holocaust than you do. You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, you're a Nazi sympathizer. Why? Well, Trump. Let's say no. Trump is a Republican, not a Nazi. But anyway, Christopher Hitchens.
The reason why your question is a good one is this: what else can the Democrats do? And if that's the case, what the hell shape are we in?
By the way, he died of cancer, and he was such a hero. But Hitchens was such an amazing man. He's smoking. And I'm not advocating smoking. Again, I'm not advocating smoking, but we had a different country when you can go to nightclubs or bars and people were smoking, or just even restaurants. It was a different country. I think there was more camaraderie. I think it's actually healthier mentally to have that type of. I know there are people who don't like the smell. I don't even really enjoy the smell of smoke, although cigars, the smell is nice, but but there's something about that old school, like Hitchens would just smoke and he would talk and he would offend in the most eloquent, beautiful, brilliant manner. And nowadays, he would have destroyed Twitter. Do you understand? He would have destroyed Twitter. Vance. Thank you, Vance, for your continued support of this channel. Thank you, Real News Headquarters. Thank you, Cooper Sees Truth. Real News, Vance, as a gun owner, never want to use it. It's sad watching public officials called for active harassment of Trump supporters. Lives will be ruined because they want to cover up their corruption. Hashtag My Life Matters. Absolutely, Vance. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You don't want to, if somebody, so Vance, it's a great, let's say you're open carrying or, concealed carry and somebody says, get out of the restaurant. We hate you. We hate Trump. Da, da, da. I mean, at that point, you go ahead, call the police, or, I mean, if you feel threatened, or just leave. You don't ever want to. I mean, look, I haven't been a gun owner for a very long time, but I'm officially, Gun Owners of America, NRA. I love the Second Amendment, but you just remember, you have to look at people on the left as just a bunch of imbeciles and people with serious mental issues that they think that they're more important than they really are. They think they're actually storming the beaches of Normandy or fighting in the Battle of the Bulge. They think they're liberating Auschwitz. Actually, they don't even think that actually is actually not part of their fantasy world. I'm from California. Yep. From Los Angeles. But I mean, if you're a gun owner, just if you're obviously if your life is in danger, it's one story. But if these people first of all, nobody, and that's the thing in life, no one's gonna. You can wear a Trump shirt, and generally, no one's gonna bother you ever. I mean, especially if in certain parts of the country, they'll be like, "Hey, great shirt." Most people are not that like this. The lady who wouldn't let Sarah Sanders into her house, or no, into her into her restaurant. She was like, it's an expression of my morals. Really? Well, how about voting? Ever heard of that? So let's just go back to Hitchens.
It still divides us as between those of us who think that a job must be found for Hillary Clinton, that the country would be somehow disgraced if she wasn't in an important position, and those of us who could do without her. And neither answer to that question is going to make any difference at all to the way the market performs.
The question of
if there was some foreign policy experience or brilliance that Hillary Clinton had ever shown, maybe we overlook the fact that she and her husband have never met a foreign political donor they don't like and haven't taken from. Look.
A foreign political donor they don't like or haven't taken from, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Hitchens was Nostradamus. Christopher Hitchens was Nostradamus. Christopher Hitchens could see into the future. I love the guy. He wasn't right about Iraq, but you know what? He was always, he was never anything but himself. He was always himself. Always eloquent, intelligent, charismatic, funny. He was just amazing.
Look, this is the woman who played the race card on Barack Obama. This is the woman who, if you were for change that you can believe in, whichever change it was, you were voting against. This is the woman whose foreign policy experience consists of making a fool of herself and fabricating a story about Bosnia. This is the woman who, with her husband, have so many connections, fundraising connections overseas, Indonesia, China. Just look at it.
He was calling out the Clinton Foundation in 2008, in 2007, 2006. No, sorry. Yeah. He was calling out the Clintons for foreign donations, I think even in Bill Clinton's presidency, before the foundation.
Today's and yesterday's New York Times, that the list of people with whom the former President Clinton has acquired a tremendous burden of debt. These are people who pay him all the time, from odd parts of the Middle East to strange donors all over the place. My colleague at Vanity Fair, Todd Purdom, anyone can Google this, just put in Purdom Clinton. See if you can bear to read the sort of friendships that a former president is having. It's undignified to think about it. From the Riyadi family in Indonesia to numerous Chinese donors who left this country rather than show up for the hearings on it. But I don't know of any such expertise on her part, except her pretense to have been under fire in Bosnia when she had not. Actually,
so he was brutally honest. He's very much missed. The guy was brutally honest about the Clintons. And he had the gravitas, and and he had the experience, the gravitas, the knowledge, and he was so firmly on the left that he could go very much like George Orwell. You couldn't really paint him as somebody on the left or the right. He just is very, very much guided by logic and reason. You might not agree with him, but he always articulated his thought process in just a beautiful manner. And that's the thing that doesn't exist today. He would laugh at these people. He would laugh at these people, and he would destroy Twitter. Twitter is the antithesis of Christopher Hitchens. Cooper sees truth. Thank you so much. Cooper sees truth. Even if people donated to Clinton strictly to meet Hillary and not for government favors, she broke the law. It is illegal to profit of their position in government, and selling handshakes. And the Secretary of State is profiting. Absolutely. Absolutely. Access is profiting. You pay for access. In sales, if you ever sold cars or any life insurance or anything, sales, they always teach you, get face-to-face with the person. If you can get face-to-face with the person, you can go ahead and close the sale a lot easier. You can't really sell, on the phone, or, of course you can go on Amazon and buy something, but like if you're actually a human being to human being, the interaction is easier. If you can see the person, if you can, they call it, press flesh. Strzok and Weiner and Clinton, use that phrase in a different way. But pressing flesh, like, shaking hands, this is sales tactics. So you're right. What people are waiting for is an actual message saying, Hillary Clinton gave this donor favors, when the evidence is there. And with Trump, there's no evidence. There's not even circumstantial evidence. The circumstantial evidence is absolutely ridiculous. Like, well, this person met with this person, has nothing to do with Trump, but wait, let's talk about this.
When there was pressure on the Clinton administration, with Les Aspin was Secretary of Defense, you remember, to do something about Sarajevo, to stop the killing, to prevent the ethnic cleansing, Hillary Clinton moved in hard on her husband and said, don't you deplete, or was it a hazelnut monopoly in the Republic of who in certain people at this point of the lowest stage of the base, because she's a status quo type and they know they can, so to speak, trust her. She's a member of their club. To remind people at this point of the lowest stage of the Clinton administration, when Eric Holder signed off at the Justice Department on the pardon of this fugitive, shall we call him financier, who'd also given a rather large loan that didn't seem to have been repaid to one of Hillary Clinton's brothers, who in turn, with the other brother, had gone for a walnut monopoly, or was it a hazelnut monopoly in the Republic of Georgia, odd bits of the Caucasus involved in American foreign policy here, plus donations to the Clinton Library. It builds up and it goes on. Is this how the president-elect really wants to start? The amazing brothers of hers who nearly got
So, Hitchens was going after and exposing not only Clinton, but her brothers, her husband. The whole thing, they're just, all of them are just, it's just unbelievable how they've gotten away this long. But the email issue was bad because of the classified intelligence. They can't get away from that stuff. The SAP intelligence, you can't get away from it. So Clinton really up on that issue. Really, really up on that issue. So let's just finish watching Hitchens. Just brilliant.
Nut monopoly in Kazakhstan or something farcical like that. Just look it up. It's a ludicrous embarrassment for the president and for the country.
Hitchens was saying this in 2008, a ludicrous embarrassment for the country. A ludicrous embarrassment for the country. A ludicrous embarrassment for the country. And this is Christopher Hitchens saying this years back. Imagine what he would say now. I don't think he'd be a fan of Trump, but he would not hate Trump. I doubt Christopher Hitchens would hate Trump in the same manner Democrats do. If anything, if he were to critique Trump, he would have also, because, Hitchens died in 2011. He would have, had he lived, looked at the complete tenure, the second term of Obama and the email scandal. He would have eviscerated everyone within the email scandal. Comey would have been what Hitchens would have done to Comey and McCabe and Strzok and Weiner. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Christopher Hitchens on Anthony Weiner? Could you imagine Christopher Hitchens on all the social issues, the social justice warrior, issues? Christopher Hitchens did a whole thing on why women weren't funny comedians, and he didn't do it in like a nasty, sexist way. But I think they're great female comedians, but his point is that there are a lot more male comedians for specific reasons related to the differences between men and women. He explained that very eloquently. Today, he would be viewed as a Nazi by some people. There's no nuance anymore. There's no nuance because very few people not like to think, and everything's morally relative. What the Clintons and mainly the Clintons and Democrats have done is Cheech and Chong was awesome. What the Clintons have done is they've watered down logic into, if you offend, you are then one step away from the most extreme examples of hatred in human history. And it's just, it's just, let's just finish this up.
You were asked and talked about the qualifications of your nominee for Secretary of State, and you belittled her travels around the world, equating it to having teas with foreign leaders, and your new White House counsel said that her resume was grossly exaggerated when it came to foreign policy.
Look, I think this is fun for the press to try to stir up whatever quotes were generated during the course of the campaign. No, I understand, and you're having fun.
So that's so much more eloquent than Trump. But, if Trump said the same thing, that dare you, you're saying we're having fun. Anyway, let's just finish up.
If you look at
Obama's answer just there,
I
thought Obama's answer just there was incredibly cheap and evasive. I mean, he was right the first time to say this woman doesn't in fact have any foreign policy experience, and he could have added, which also came up in the campaign, that the experience she has claimed, such as in Bosnia, was fake, was fabricated. And he could also have added that she, like his other nominee for the Attorney Generalship, main qualification in politics is being a friend of Mark Rich, which I don't think is change. As I say, if it hadn't involved her too, the campaign finance scandals, we're not talking about the ongoing stuff, Mr. Clinton's huge speaking fees in the Gulf and elsewhere, talking about previous convictions in the Clinton fundraising scandal. If it wasn't for the fact that she couldn't refuse her brother's anything.
So Clinton fundraising scandal. They've been having fundraising scandals for decades.
Politics as being a friend of Mark Rich, which I don't think is change. As I say, if it hadn't involved her too, the campaign finance scandals, we're not talking about the ongoing stuff, Mr. Clinton's huge speaking fees in the Gulf and elsewhere, talking about previous convictions in the Clinton fundraising scandal. If it wasn't for the fact that she couldn't refuse her brothers anything, couldn't refuse them anything they wanted, they seem to have got, including some kind of deal for Mark Rich. All of this might be forgivable. It might assume a different proportion, David, if it wasn't for the fact that this woman doesn't really have any foreign policy experience worth mentioning. And what is memorable about it is pretty bad.
Could you imagine Hitchens saying all of this now in the climate that we're in? And he wouldn't even flinch. He wouldn't even flinch. He would just eviscerate and just destroy and obliterate all the nonsense. There is no intellectual movement on the left. It's anymore. There are intellectuals and there are intelligent people, and there are pockets where good people are trying to do great things. But generally, when I say the left, I mean the pervasive mentality where suddenly, isn't interesting how all the extreme, oh yeah, we have to fight Nazis. The Democrats have said, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and get a piece of that. So we're fighting Nazis at the same time during Obama's administration. Oh, by the way, yeah, they just didn't care about what 2.5 million people being deported. We have 672 people on here. I want to thank everybody. It's awesome. So let's go. I mean, Hitchens on Bill Clinton. That's just fantastic. Well, we can go on forever. We can go on forever. Let's see. So Julian Assange had a chance to have freedom, a chance to get an immunity deal, and James Comey messed it up. James Comey messed it up. And there you go. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. So let's see what else is going on. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, wow. All right. Let's go ahead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think perhaps winding down. We got 653 people. It's the middle of the night here. And I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So, All Sperry is always a great starting point. This can't be FBI agents. So CIA, wow. So again, so Comey actually retaliated against his field agents. This is, and then J. Michael Waller. This is consistent with what my sources in and around the FBI have told me over the past 3 years. So Comey's hated by everyone universally. He just hated by everyone. Even his own agents hated him. Thank you, Blake Foster. And Eric Hebert, thank you so much for your continued support of this channel. Blake Foster. HA, I want to see you, Sticks, and Molnoy have a debate against Sam Cedar, David Pakman, and Michael Brooks. It wouldn't be pretty. We would destroy them. I would be open to that debate anytime. Anytime. Because I'm basically from the left. So, and I would actually agree with Cedar and Pakman on a bunch of issues, but then, oh, by the way, expose hypocrisy on the left that they can't possibly admit to. The funny thing about me is that in terms of certain policies, I'm actually still either progressive or whatever, like on the left. But in terms of logic and reason regarding disagreement with those policies and the hypocrisy. So, for example, I want Dreamers to be citizens, but I also know Obama deported 2.5 million people. I'm not sure if Mr. Cedar or Mr. Pakman would admit that Obama did just as much or worse than Trump, especially when there's a New York Magazine article talking about the Senate probe regarding human traffickers, and that Obama just gave children to caregivers without vetting the caregivers. Eric Hebert, so thank you. Yeah. Eric Hebert, I don't know how you all feel, but sometimes it's hard to stay focused on what I'm doing when you have people on the left calling for violence or insinuating violence. The left doesn't want a war with right. Eric, I will tell you this. Don't worry about the left. Not only does the left not want a war, the left is there. You have people who want gun control who think it's tough, who think that they're storming the beaches of Normandy by telling people to stop eating. So they're all over the place. They're all over the place. And I would not worry if, Eric or and others, Vance, I would not worry at all. For a second today, I'm like, what if somebody, what if I'm with my family and somebody tries to mess with me? And I'm like, I already pretty much know what I would do, but I don't think most people have to worry about that. A lot of these things are fabricated. So ladies and gentlemen, so Eric, thank you so much for your continued support of this channel. And Blake, thank you so much. A lot of these and Real News Headquarters, thank you very, very, very much. A lot of these so-called, or these people who are like, oh, we're going to fight Nazis, and you're not welcome in civil society. Well, civil society is supposed to be a world where you allow different views to just people with different views to eat in the same location. But the problem is they've convinced themselves, see, it's all cognitive dissonance and narcissism. They're a bunch of narcissists because they can't realize that they can't understand why they lost. So they have to double down and triple. They're like people in Vegas, like at a cards table or like in a blackjack table. You got to leave. You're down $400. You're not going to get the $400 back. It's better than 4,000. If you're down $400 in Vegas or Reno or Atlantic City, just leave. Just leave. You're not going to get the 400 back. And I mean, it happens, but sure, you can get the money back, I guess. But generally, $400 lost is better than $4,000 lost. But see, people on the left don't get that. They don't realize that they've been obliterated politically. They don't control the House, the Senate. They've lost seats in state elections, throughout Obama's tenure. They're going to lose again in 2020. It's all about donors now. So Hollywood is the big base of donors. So they're going to go ahead and we're going to fight. We're going to fight. Well, what about Obama deporting 2.5 million people? What about the fact that kids were in cages? One guy, because John Favreau, or I think it was his name, he tweets a picture of Obama's immigration policies with children in a cage under President Obama. So this is nothing new. They want to make Trump to seem like he started everything bad. There was nothing bad until Trump came in, according to people on the left. And everybody is just this, this, if you're not a Nazi, you're a Nazi sympathizer. Everything's a euphemism. Every single thing's a euphemism. So it's just unbelievable. Like, I have 1,350 retweets. You go to H.A. Goodman author. I have 350 retweets and 1,606 likes. This is New York Magazine, 2016. The United States government placed an unknown number of Central American migrant kids into the custody of human traffickers. Okay, according to a Senate report on Thursday. This is a New York Magazine article by Eric Levitz. You think Peter Fonda cared? You think De Niro cared? You think anybody claiming to hate Trump cared? No, they didn't. They didn't care. And that's the problem. You can't go ahead and pontificate and tell people how horrible they are if you yourself is, horrible or did horrible things. Wow. So this is Haaretz.com. Prince William starts his busy day in Israel with a visit to Yad Vashem. So Yad Vashem is the Holocaust Museum. Every anarchist / leftist / Twitter justice warrior / ignorant person who thinks they know history knows nothing about history, who says, oh, by the way, the mentality will lead to this and that. No, sorry. Go to Yad Vashem. You'll see pictures of people who were burned in furnaces, who suffocated and died in gas chambers. Go to Yad Vashem in Israel. Go to a Holocaust museum. You will see 1.5 million Jewish children. You will learn that in Babi Yar, a ravine in the Ukraine, 30,000 human beings, men, women, and children, were machine gunned to death. A little bit different from get out of my a place of my eating place, my restaurant. A little bit different from that. So Prince William is there. So I mean, and that's the thing. When you're ignorant of history, and then they use history. These are the same historians that are like, oh, well, the Nazis did this and the Nazis did that. And, well, why don't you go to Yad Vashem? Why don't you realize a little, the differences between Trump and Obama's immigration policy in Auschwitz? People are like, oh, yeah, what's this guy, Johnny Deutsch or Donnie Deutsch on MSNBC? He's like, you're just like a Nazi, if you vote, you're a Nazi. Dude, did this guy know anything that happened under the Obama years? Has this guy ever read a book or watched a documentary on the Holocaust? Do these people know They don't realize also they're talking to human beings who actually, read books. They know no one is buying their crap. No one is buying their crap. No one believes it. So they have to double down. Like I guess that's the analogy of they have to double down, continue to double down. And they don't stand for anything, so they're just going to stand for anger. They think they're tough. They have to be relevant. And they also think that they look at Trump and they're like, well, he's always in the news. He's always in the news, and he's always provocative. So we're going to be provocative too, and then we'll get the same amount of attention, and people will vote for us. It doesn't work that way. Trump has a certain level of charisma. That's part of who he is and what his brand is. And he's amusing in his own unique way. Everyone here, I'm sure, knows somebody everyone here. Well, if you see any trolls, don't don't even engage or talk to them. But everyone here knows a person who can go ahead and just get away with saying things or get away with doing things, and there's something charming about their unique personality. Trump is that. Trump is like the villain in the WWE or WWF. He's not a villain, but his personality, he can go ahead and he can say things or do things and present himself a certain way because he's brash. He has that persona. He can get away with it. Democrats can't, because they don't care. They're a bunch of liars. They can't. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so like George Lopez, love George Lopez, jabs Melania Trump, and I think he's a great comedian. But why didn't he jab, President Obama's policies? Keep the kids, deport the racist. Did you ask? Did George Lopez want to deport Obama for deporting 2.5 million people and sending kids back into the desert, which was policy under Obama? No, I don't know. I didn't hear George Lopez say that. Maybe he did. So now it's like this full court press with Hollywood is like, oh, well, we're going to go up against Trump and this immigration issue. Yeah, well, make sure you don't go ahead and tweet out pictures of Obama's immigration policies with children in cages under Obama. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 660 people here. This week is going to be crazy, interesting, fantastic, wonderful. And this is awesome. This live stream is awesome. Definitely go ahead, share this segment, please. Thank you so much to the super chat people. Thank you everyone for watching. You have a wonderful, wonderful evening, morning. Have sweet dreams. Get some rest. God bless. And thank you so much to the super chat people. You're awesome. You keep this, live stream stuff going. And you have a great evening. Go ahead, please share this segment everywhere. And also, please go ahead and hit subscribe to this channel, to the super chat people again. Thank you so very much for your support. And to everybody, thank you for tuning in, for supporting this channel, and for the kind words. I will definitely see you tomorrow, and this week is going to be fantastic. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen.